Dillian the Body Snatcher White here. It's a champ. Big up to Sporting Icon. Subscribe. Otherwise, I might pay you guys a visit.
All right, so I know that this subject is about 48 hours old now, and usually I like to do it pretty much as and when I hear it. And of course, I did hear about it when it first happened, but there was a reason why I didn't do a video on it. And in fact, I was waiting for something, but that something should still be happening. I just don't know when as of right now. Anyway, so Dillian Whyte has said that he will like to get his hands on the Alabama slammer, Deontay Wilder, even if that means fighting him in his home of Alabama. Deontay Wilder, he can pick his own judges, his own referee, he can do whatever it is that he wants if it makes him feel a bit more comfortable about taking the fight. Now, Dillian, he's been chasing Deontay Wilder for the longest time, and for whatever reason, Deontay Wilder don't want that smoke. Now, for a lot of the Deontay Wilder fanatics, the Wildettes, they've been saying how Dillian Whyte, he's easy work for Deontay Wilder and all this kind of stuff. Well, isn't it a shame that your guy doesn't have that same self-belief as what you do? Otherwise, he would have already fought him by now, wouldn't he? Rather than go fight Gerald Washington and Chris Arreola and whoever else, and a rematch with Luis Ortiz that nobody wanted to see. But it is what it is. Dillian, he's offered Deontay Wilder multiple offers before, with $7 million and up to $15 million, and even agreed, because Deontay Wilder originally said, well, put Anthony Joshua in the contract, I'll fight him next. Eventually they agreed to it, even though Dillian and Joshua have no kind of collaboration whatsoever. But even then, Dillian said, okay, fine, let's do whatever. Joshua said, okay, fine, whatever. Then Wilder changed his mind. Facts, not opinion. Now, what I will say is that Dillian Whyte, he's the two-time WBC interim world heavyweight champion. And I'll keep on repeating this. I know some people may be a little bit bored of me saying this, but there's always new people on. Which is, Dillian being the interim champion means that if something was to happen with Tyson Fury, as in he vacates the belt or he gets stripped of the belt for whatever kind of reason, Dillian, being the WBC interim world heavyweight champion, will then be elevated to full champion without the need of a final eliminator. That's what interim status means, okay? So Dillian holds the keys. If Wilder wants to get back into contention, he holds the keys. But business is business. At one time, when Dillian was chasing Wilder as champion, Dillian would have had to have taken the B-side money. I don't really want to be talking about B-side and A-side and whatever else, but this is how fights get made and how fights don't get made. Dillian would have had to have taken potentially a 25% of the purse at that time. Now, with Wilder not holding a belt whatsoever, it's now roles reverse. So Wilder is going to have to take the B-side. Is Wilder going to do that? Of course he isn't, which is why I'm fully confident that Wilder's going to be fighting a couple of scrubs to work his way back into contention and not really earn his title shot back, but eventually get one, because he's going to be fighting scrubs and the WBC and any other sanctioning body, most notably the WBA, very, very biased with the PBC lately, will then put him into a position and call him as a mandatory. That's what happens, okay? So I wouldn't expect Deontay Wilder to accept this fight at all. Especially being the B-side, especially being that he's not confident of beating Dillian Whyte. Some of you may well be very confident that Wilder would beat Dillian Whyte. And I hear it quite a lot, which is, well, Dillian Whyte will get knocked smooth out by Deontay Wilder. But nobody's considering the fact that what happens if Dillian lands on him? Answer that question. What happens? Could Deontay Wilder take the punishment that Dillian Whyte dishes out? Could he take Dillian's left hook, his body shots, his uppercut, his straight right, his overhand right? Could he take any of those? Unlikely. Unlikely. At the end of the day, if he's getting dropped to the floor with a jab to the body by Tyson Fury, imagine what a left hook or a right hook to the body from the body snatcher is going to do to Wilder. It will break his ribs. Internal organs will be falling out of his backside. But at the end of the day, I want to see this fight. You guys want to see this fight. Is it likely? No, I don't think it's likely for the reasons I've just given you about the A-side, B-side situation. But also, Wilder, he's going to go fight a scrub. And if he is actually going to take a step up, the step up that he will take will be Andy Ruiz Jr. And that will probably happen at the end of the year. I'm sure Al Heyman and the PBC have some kind of plan in place for that. So for me, I think it's very, very unlikely we're going to see that fight. So for me, I want to see Dillian Whyte. I know I did a poll probably about a week ago now or something like that, and the overwhelming result was most people wanted to see Dillian Whyte take on Trevor Bryan. the current WBA regular world heavyweight champion. Is that a realistic option? Well, why not? Why not? If necessary, I know due to restrictions here and whatever else, and I know that Eddie Hearn, he wants to go over to America and take Dillian Whyte over there as a headline. Well, why not Trevor Bryan? Surely Don King wants to make a bit of money on Trevor Bryan. Trevor Bryan's one of the most inactive fighters that there ever has been. It's absolutely ridiculous. But will the WBA agree to it? Will the WBC agree to it? With Dillian being the WBC interim champion, with Trevor Bryan being the WBA regular champion? Would they agree to somewhat of a unification? It's never really happened before, but maybe they will. We'll have to wait and find out. I know Eddie Hearn, he has said that he'd like to see Dillian Whyte potentially take on Jermaine Franklin. I've never seen this guy fight whatsoever, so I have no idea if he's any good. I know he's undefeated and he is American, but he's not really somebody that people talk about for whatever reason. Anyway, the fight that people would love to see for Dillian Whyte is a Deontay Wilder. As I said before, I think that Dillian, if he wants to sit around and just wait for his opportunity for a world title, why do all the legwork now? Why do all the donkey work? Why take on these tough fight after tough fight after tough fight? I know that's part of his warrior code, but just take some scrubs. That's what everyone else done. That's what Dominic Brazil done before he got his world title shot. That's what Wilder done before he got his world title shot. That's what Tyson Fury done before he got his hands on Deontay Wilder, taking on Sefer and Francisco Pianeta. Admittedly, he did take on Klitschko like 3 years previous, but for me, if I was Dillian, that's what I would do. Take the easy money. Take the easy fights. What much more learning did he really need to do? I know he hasn't had that many fights, 37 fights, amateur and pro combined, but still, is what it is. But yes, I would absolutely love that fight. I've been calling it for it for the long, long time. Wilder has persistently ducked Dillian Whyte, and I know some people say that Dillian ducked Wilder. I'd love to see that information. I would love to see it, because it ain't there. So people and their narratives, at least everything that I say, I can back up. Anyway, I would love to see Dillian Whyte take on Deontay Wilder, even if that means being in Alabama. Knock out Deontay Wilder in his home city. Drop your thoughts below, click thumbs up, subscribe, catch you on the next video.